Hi, everybody.
It's me, it's Johnny, and we're from Pages. No,
We're
from.
not from Pages of Forbidden Love
You
anymore.
can't say that thing anymore. I thought that was like copyrighted from someone else now. Maybe we had a hostile takeover, and we were like,
A hostile takeover?
yeah, Cookie.
Cookie?
Cookie.
No, this isn't Empire.
Oh, I don't
This
know.
is blogging.
Blogging 101.
No, not blogging 101. This is just us.
Us? Who's us? Why am I saying you the whole thing?
We're so confused.
Hi. So I'm not using this new camera thing because the old camera I can actually see myself. I look at the screen and be right within there. But this is all trivial and pointless. How you doing?
Anyway, we're from Once Upon a Chapter.
That's where we're from.
Wow, you forget so quickly.
I don't pay attention sometimes.
Anyway.
This is our mascot, Deadpool. Say hi, Deadpool.
Anyway, we are here today to do something a little bit different that we've never done before. Yeah, we know you're still waiting on water sponsorship. People who haven't watched really old videos are not going to even know what
People don't even know who I am because I look vastly different from last time I did a video.
You haven't been on a video, I don't think, in like 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been about 2 years since you were last on a video with me.
I used to have hair and I didn't have a beard. Now I have no hair and I have a beard.
Because they couldn't see that for themselves. Anyway, we are here today to do something that we usually don't do, but it is to challenge one another to read some of our favorite books to see if the other person will enjoy them. Why are you already shaking your head? We haven't even done the challenge yet. You haven't even read any of my books yet.
Because the first Wheel of Time book is not over.
I haven't read the Wheel of Time series yet.
Just lie and say you did.
You can't
So I can have the damn book.
read the challenge because that's not part of this challenge.
Whatever.
Why don't you get started with the book?
Alright, I'm going to get started. So, my first book up is actually from Stephen King's son, Joe Hill. I wanted her to read Horns, but I forgot I lent it out to someone, and that horrible human being never gave it back. But, runner-up, which is still a good book nonetheless, Heart-Shaped Box. Should I have my face mask? No? Yes. It's an amazing book. I thought it was really fun. It's kind of
I really hope it doesn't have huge elements of horror in it because that's why I
No,
don't read Stephen
it's
King.
more like suspense and a little bit of a thriller, but it had a lot of contemporary references. So maybe you'll like it. Speaking of contemporary references, leads me to my next book. It's more like a pop culture thing. When I read this book, there was a certain scene in there that had a huge Highlander element to it, and as none of you may know, Highlander is one of my favorite movies of all time.
He has swords, which you can't even see.
Yes, he has swords. He is a pirate who has swords. I was going to get Bath Time Deadpool, but they didn't have him, so I had to settle with this. What just happened?
Nothing happened. It's
Oh.
still going.
I don't know. So,
Anyway.
next book, Ready Player One. Should probably put it right there.
Which I am just really wondering if I'll even understand any of the references because I don't understand any 80s pop culture, and I think that's entirely what's in this.
It's not just 80s. It's like a lot of video games, a lot of random pop culture.
Yeah, but I don't know a lot of
food.
pop culture.
Well, maybe you'll read it and it'll be an educational experience for you because usually you just like to be an ostrich, just stick your head in the ground. You're like,
Yeah, that's how I like to be.
The world doesn't.
I like to stick my head in the ground and pretend that it doesn't exist.
Just books and your job and me and that's it. Well, there's some wrestling references I think in there too. So you'll get those. Anyway, 2 more books. My next book is actually I read this before it became a movie and before it was even popular. I like saying that because people jump in a bandwagon. I hate bandwagon books. But Martian by Andy Weir.
I'm also concerned about this one because I think it's going to be too scientific in the beginning of the book to explain his quest onto Mars and what he's doing there. So I don't know.
It's very scientific in the fact that he's trying to explain a lot of things, but he breaks it down to where.
Not that I don't understand science. I work in a medical field, so I understand science, but I just don't want it to be an entire book of scientific descriptions. So if I put you on Mars, you know how to survive, like you're trying to say. No, I wouldn't know how to survive on Mars.
Well, this is what this is about. He's a botanist on Mars. He's not a nuclear
medicine. I know what it's about. I saw the movie with you. I get the general concept of the book.
He's not a nuclear medicine tech on Mars.
Okay. Anyway, what's your last book
Hold on. Here's the thing. You'll see movies about teachers, right, or nurses. never seen a movie or a TV show based on nuclear medicine technique. What are you doing?
I thought he would lay on his side.
He's a little top heavy.
I get that.
We were going to have the Ultimate Warrior for our mascot for today. But since the Deadpool movie came out, and I've been a huge fan of Deadpool since it came out in 1991, once again, not in a bandwagon.
Can we keep this rolling?
Yeah,
with the
I
last
am.
Book?
Yeah, well, hold on. I'm not ready for the last book. Goes to the Deadpool
I'm
movie.
ready.
It's amazing. I know you're ready, but maybe they're not ready. I have to ask you one question. Are you ready? No,
Yes.
I said.
They're ready.
Are
Do
you
last
ready? No DX reference.
No.
I can't have a wrestling reference. Fine, whatever. I love this book. It's the first part in a trilogy, but you can read it as a standalone book. I have the other two books if you really like this.
Oh, jeez.
It's the 20th anniversary edition of Star Wars: Heir to the Empire. Let me just move it right there. It is one of the seminal pieces of Star Wars fiction they had. But here's the bad thing. It's now no longer considered canon because Disney wanted to, when they bought the rights to Star Wars, I'm pretty sure some of you know, but everything that they made now is considered legends, which is fine.
I don't think that everybody knows that or cares about that.
How do you know? There's people out there probably right now that have a huge, like, our friend. We can say his name, can't we? Because that was last name. I thought it was last name. David. See, that's fine, right?
Well, there's many Davids out there in the world.
There you go.
I don't think anybody's going to know strictly who our friend David or your friend David is.
Our friend. It's rude to say my friend. Our
Well,
friend.
I haven't even met David yet.
Well, he can still be a friend.
Anyway,
Be
we
more
need
open.
to keep moving on
Yeah,
here so we
so-
don't film a 25-minute video.
I've been gone from this thing for a while. I don't know.
Okay, well, you don't get to, like, talk for, like, 30 minutes and expect that YouTube will let us upload a 40-some minute video.
I've watched the Battle for Endor, which is an hour and a half movie before, on
Whatever.
YouTube. Anyway, I'm not even done. So these books are no longer
These
considered
movies.
canon. The movies are fine. The books are no longer considered canon, but they're starting to reincorporate some elements. I've heard rumors that Benicio del Toro's character in the next Star Wars movie that's already being filmed right now will be Grand Admiral Thrawn, which would be amazing.
Okay.
Okay.
You can tell that's how much I care about Star Wars, and yet he's making me read a Star Wars book, okay?
Because it is an amazing book. It is a great book. All these books are pretty good. Ready Player One was good. I mean, is it probably not going to be as good as what you think it is? You know, that's up for you to
I'm
decide,
sure
obviously.
you're not going to
but-
like my books either, but, you know, we'll see.
Hold on. Word of advice for anybody out there with Ready Player One, if you like the book, don't read Armada. It's just beating the whole pop culture thing in your head. You remember I read part of it and I got tired of it.
I know, honey.
Well, I got it for like almost free, and I had all those gift cards and whatnot. Yeah, next
I
time we
told
do
you
it.
ahead of time you weren't going to like it because a lot of people were saying that they
Well,
also weren't liking
well,
it
what
because
else?
of that reason, and
There
then you were
was-
reading it, and then it was like that.
Yeah, well, I probably should have bought another Star Wars book instead, but I didn't. Okay.
Okay, anyway, that's not what this is about, so let's move on from your Star Wars Armada rant here.
Well, Star Wars what? Armada rant. What? Armada. Do you know what an Armada is?
Isn't that the name of the book?
No, it's Heir to the Empire.
No, the other book, the Ready Player One, whatever he wrote.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Your Star Wars Armada rant.
Oh.
Because you were ranting about both Star Wars.
I do
and the
understand
next
you
book.
sometimes.
See? I made perfect sense in that one. You
That one?
cannot say that I didn't make sense there.
Well, for that one,
Moving on.
you don't always make sense.
Moving on. So the
Yeah,
first book
freaking-
that I am going to try and get Johnny to read is the first book in the Kate Daniels series, which is Magic Bites. It's urban fantasy. It's also pretty short at about 200 pages. So even if he's not enjoying it that much, I think he could fly through this and then...
You can see me sit down and read a 200-page book. And
I know. And then if he does like this, there are many more books in this series that continue on in this magical fantasy world. So we'll see if Johnny actually enjoys this one or not. It's not very heavy on romance, so I'm hoping that he'll enjoy it for that reason.
Is there hot, steamy sex scenes?
No.
No.
There's like tension, like a lot of romantic tension in the first several books of the series. But it's like they don't even get together until like the fourth or fifth book.
I do remember reading. I wouldn't say reading. I remember I picked up one of your books and like the second chapter in, it was just like.
Okay, that's not appropriate. We're moving on here. And the next book, which really makes it not appropriate, is a middle grade book. I am finally going to try and get Johnny to read a Harry Potter book.
Harry Potter. My name's not Harry.
I know.
Harold.
I just renamed
Harold.
everybody. I mean, wrestlers now are Henry and, anyway. Point is...
They don't even know who Henry is.
I know they don't.
Shinsuke Nakamura. Look him up.
But I can't say that name.
King of Strong Style.
Whatever that means. So anyway, I have the entire Harry Potter collection, of course. I've reread this series from start to finish many times. And I would really like Johnny to read the first book so he can actually understand what people are talking about when they talk about Harry Potter. Yes, he's seen the movies, but that is not
I thought I read that book when I was a kid.
Well, if you did, you probably don't remember much of it. Plus, the series gets better and better as the books go on. So, if you get invested in book 1, you're going to be invested for 7 books.
So there's 8 books? But those are 7 books.
There's 7 books total.
Yeah, so what you should have said is that if you're invested in book 1, you'll be invested in 6 more books.
Well, technically now there is going to be an 8th Harry Potter book. So, boom!
Yeah.
I was right!
No, I found that out before you. I was the first. I told you about the play, and then I said, "I bet you anything they're going to adapt."
Play.
No, I told you about the play, and I told you, "I bet you anything they're going to adapt that into another book," and they did.
Well, technically, they're not really adapting it. They're just taking the screenplay and putting it into a book. That's not really any kind of adaptation.
It is. Do you know how a screenplay works from a script, like in a movie?
Yes, they're actually publishing.
Enter stage left.
No, they're actually publishing the screenplay as the book. They're not really changing it from what they've told us so far. It's basically going to be reading a screenplay.
Have you ever read a screenplay?
No, but I know how
I've been in a play.
I know how it goes. It would be like, Harry Potter, ... and then says this, exit stage this, come in whatever.
You know what the ... actually is? There's a word for that.
It's an ellipsis.
Holy.
See? I know what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Once again, I have amazed you. I know, I'm just that perfect.
Oh yeah, by the way, did you tell them the good news? You haven't told them the news.
What news?
Really?
They know I'm engaged.
Yeah, but what's happening in 2 weeks?
We're getting married. They also know that.
Oh.
Because I've talked about the vacation TBR marriage pile that I will pick out for our cruise wedding.
Can I be a part of that too?
Sure.
Cool.
Anyway, moving on. Gotta get through 2 more books here. The third book is The Demon King, which I picked this one for Johnny because I feel like...
I like demons. And I am a king.
No, but this is a book that I feel is...
I'm hungry. Continue.
Really?
Continue.
This is a book where I feel that men, women, and also boys, girls, anybody could read this and really enjoy it. The main character, he is male. And so I feel like you can see more of a male perspective kind of in this book, which I feel Johnny would find a little bit more interesting than a wholly female perspective, which a lot of teen books are told from female perspectives.
When you say when you're trying to explain who he is, you say he is a male. Well, he is not a woman. He is a lady. Dude looks like a lady.
Well, you never know these days.
Wow, that you said that my thing was inappropriate. That was inappropriate because now you've just offended a community. I'm
not offending a community, but
I made
really
it obscure. See, now you're just judging people by the whole thing. I just made an obscure sexual reference by like a hand sign.
Obscure?
Okay, it wasn't obscure, but it was blatant.
Okay, moving along. Anyway, this is young adult fantasy. It has a male point of view as the lead character in it. There's a lot of like magic and like understanding of different like tribes and kingdoms and just different kind of like magical elements that I feel Johnny will be able to better relate to. So I kind of picked this one up for him. When I read this, I think I gave it a 4 stars. I haven't continued on with the series yet.
Or you stars now?
I don't know. Stephanie and I have these little castle things now as our little ratings. So technically, I guess 4 castles. Whatever. I just don't even
Are these
know anymore.
Eastern European castles? Are they Western European castles? Are these like...
They're just little like...
What time period are the castles usually built
Stephanie's
in?
going to watch this video and just be laughing her ass off.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out like what castles we're referring to. I mean, ancient castles really had a different...
That's not really that important.
Is it? Do the castles have a moat?
No, the castles do not have a moat.
Well,
They're just like a little...
You're really starting to put yourself in a bind because way back when, you could say that, because I don't want to get too technical for you in terms of historical terms, but when castles had a moat, it was a little bit better and more prepared for battle and protection.
You can talk to Stephanie and tell her for battle protection, we need castle ratings that have a moat around them.
Do they have a trebuchet, or do they have...
I don't even know what a trebuchet is. Anyway, trying to move on here and finish up.
Were they fortified walls of these castles?
We're not talking about this anymore.
Oh, I'm just still talking about it.
So the last book that I'm going to try and have Johnny read is Throne of Glass.
This sounds like it might have a castle in it.
It does.
Ha
It has a glass castle in it, as a matter of fact.
Isn't there a term like don't throw stones at people in glass houses? Does that really also apply for people in glass castles?
I don't know. Why don't you just read the book and find out if they throw stones at the glass castle?
Is the throne actually made of glass? What?
Throne of glass. Yes, they are in a glass stone castle.
You can put, alright, think of it this way, throne of glass. So the throne could be just an actual literal throne. Of could actually be a possessive element. And then glass could be the main character's last name.
I thought for sure instead of main character's last name, I thought you were going to say that it's like glass is a metaphor for the fact that the throne is like very highly breakable and that they're going to like take apart the kingdom.
Well, the throne itself wouldn't be breakable. It's what it represents. Like the kingdom itself could be breakable.
Right.
It's very fragile.
Right. I didn't mean the throne itself. I'm just saying that the,
throne for what it represents is the kingdom.
Yeah, the royalty kingdom, their family system, the idea
the hierarchy.
Yes. That would be like broken apart.
Hierarchy. Say that. Hierarchy.
Hierarchy.
Awesome to hear you use big words. I'm so proud of you.
I don't even know. Anyway, so
this is on a Yahtzee box.
We are just challenging each other to read these 4 books from each other's piles over the rest of this year.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we challenge each other every day.
It's late February now. So we have approximately 10 months to get through 4 books, which I think is a reasonable amount of time.
Unless Obama decides his last year in office he's going to add more months to the year.
I don't think he's going to do that.
Well, people have to all have health care, which I get that. You pay a little small penalty, but then also when you get your taxes done, I don't know if you guys knew about this. I didn't. You have to have health care all the 12 months, otherwise you get like a penalty. This had nothing to do with books.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with books.
But if you don't have health care, maybe it's because of the fact that your kingdom that you live in, which has a castle, the person who lives in the castle is not giving you your health care.
Wow. I like how you brought that all together.
Tied it all in.
So we're going to see how this goes this year, if we're actually going to read each other's books
I want to read them.
We're going to come to you probably at the end of the year or beginning of next year and let you know how this went. And we'll see if in the years that follow we want to continue this tradition.
This is why editing would be a good thing to have, but
I don't edit anything.
Yeah, obviously.
Because I don't want to take that time.
Wow, lazy. You just want to be like,
but
click,
we'll
publish.
See if we continue doing this, if we continue to stick with 4 books, or if we try for more in the following years, or less. We'll see what happens.
I will be reading these books. My opinion of them, I'm really looking forward to Harry Potter. And Throne of Glass actually sounds pretty cool. Stephen King, I'm up there, but it could just be one of the titles. What book are you really looking forward to reading?
Probably The Martian, because it was a pretty good movie. I did like it.
I do want to.
So I want to see like his personal struggle, maybe in book format.
You do know that this isn't based on a true story, right? This is a fictional book.
No, but I'm saying the character's personal struggle. I want to read about it.
I just want to make sure you know that. I just want to make sure you know this wasn't a true to life book.
I'm not saying this is a true to life book.
We have not sent someone to Mars yet.
Okay. Anyway, that is everything that we were here to show you today. Are you gonna come up with some kind of goodbye? I'm waiting here.
Allons-y
LNZ. Wow.
means let's go. I'm wearing a Doctor Who t-shirt.
Doctor Who is gonna sue us.
No, BBC maybe. Doctor Who can't. Doctor Who's an entity. It's a show itself.
Doctor Who is real. I don't know what you're talking about.
His name is the Doctor then. Stephen Moffat is the head showrunner. I can't say take care and spike your hair anymore. I don't have any hair.
Okay. Well, that's everything for us, and I hope you guys.
Roman Reigns sucks.
I'm just gonna say goodbye so he stops talking and interrupting me.